Now Smith has it. DeMoss, the steal for three. Buried! Joey DeMoss. The far side. Timmons blocked again. Daly, top of the key, spinning. Daly up and one. What a play. Position Epps to Valentine. Yes, sir. Mackay with another. Corrado left block up and one. The Graphics up by one, now down by two. It's Davis again. Zion again. He cannot miss. Now it's Terza for the lead. Got it. Picked off. That's RJ Sledge. Sledge pulls up. Sledge and one. RJ Sledge, incredible. From Cedarbrook Golf Course, it's the MVISBL Girls Draft here on MVI Live. Alex Lyons alongside me, Jose Negron, for all the picks and more here this evening on MVI Live from Cedarbrook Golf Course, the MVISBL Draft powered by Planet Roof here this evening. And Jose, a talented crop of players joining the MVISBL ranks, replacing a talented group of players that we lost from a season ago, including the likes of Eden Williamson, Marina Grotto, Lainey Gurdich, looking at others, London Creech, Rachel Manfredo, the list goes on, including Iona Wade, all not coming back this season. So a lot of key roles to fill for the defending champs in Edward Jones. They maybe lose the least amount, but they lose the Twin Towers in both Gurdich and Cody, so size may be a priority there. And, of course, AMD trying to get back on top after having their 2-year championship run brought to an end last season due to vacation, more than less than Edward Jones. Maybe, Jose?
You got me?
There you go.
There you go. All right.
You get to work eventually.
Yeah, a lot of interesting storylines coming into the season. You know, State Farm under new head coach Dan Slane, 2-8, did not make the playoffs last year. They get the first overall pick, and then the first time in MVISBL girls division history that AMD Industries wasn't our champion, as Edward Jones gets their win. Larry Cash being able to cash in with a championship. So a lot of different storylines. Very excited to see how the first round goes here, and excited to see the new crop of talent. A lot of really good, talented players that were at tryouts the last 3 days. So exciting to see, the boys. We welcomed some guys in yesterday, and excited to do the same thing here for the girls division.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at both days of tryouts, and some very talented pieces, but probably the number one player on the draft board was not there, and that's, of course, Erica Gribble, a rising sophomore from Greensburg Central Catholic. And Erica Gribble already 4 Division I offers, one from Villanova, one from Navy, Buffalo, and St. Joseph, all offering Erica Gribble, and she's not even a sophomore yet. So a lot of talent at the top of the board with Erica Gribble. Best player we saw at tryouts, in my opinion, had to be Allie Wilson out of Thomas Jefferson. Very talented player there in Wilson. Also Bella Furno, I have her ranked 3rd on my board. And then, of course, Sutton Williamson at number 4 in my ranking. Sutton, of course, the cousin of Eden Williamson, our reigning player of the year, another Trinity athlete. And we know how talented Trinity athletes have been in the MVISBL, whether it be Williamson, whether it had been Alyssa Clutter, the list goes on. And Sutton Williamson definitely can add to that realm here today. I have her ranked pretty high. And, of course, Chloe Zombeck out of Elizabethville. We know a lot about what Chloe can do. A great personality off the court with everything her family does with Make-A-Wish, with their Christmas light show and company. But, an interesting piece that, we're going to talk about here before the draft gets underway, Jose, probably a top 5, at least a top 10 player in my books without question. Michelle Jellison, probably a first-round pick, just due to her size, due to her bruteness underneath. We all talked about it watching Elizabeth Ford this past year, who was going to replace Bailey Brinson. Well, Michelle Jellison did an excellent job for that down the paint, and with the forward crop small as ever, maybe besides the likes of Allie Wilson and another rising freshman in – let me find her on my list. The freshman from California, Haley, I can't remember her last name.
Haley Gibson.
But besides really those two, your size is not there. Michelle Jellison easily would have been a high pick in this draft, but she is eligible to be drafted, but will not play this season. So you're basically drafting Michelle Jellison for next year. So it's kind of interesting to see how early does Jellison go off the board here, because easily probably a first-round pick if it wasn't for that injury.
Yeah, I think she's definitely worth taking a pick on. Even if you don't have her for this season, and you look at some teams might be more willing to do that, might be in a better position to do that. A team at the end of a round like AMD or Edward Jones that has a decent amount coming back. They have some good talented players coming back. Maybe those teams that have a lot in returning, in terms of returning players, might be willing to take that risk of spending a draft pick on her, not having her for this summer, but having her for the future. Jellison obviously had a huge season for Elizabeth Ford, really made a big impact for Crystal Gibbs and the Warriors, and she's only going into her junior season, so you'll have her for 1 year, of summer basketball, and she can definitely make an impact for a team here this during the summer season.
And to be honest, if I'm looking at the returners, where I think it makes the most sense for Michelle Jellison to land, I don't necessarily think it's where she will land, but I think where it makes the most sense is with Mariah Ward and Cedarbrook. And I'll tell you why, Jose. You look at Edward Jones. Who do they have on this roster? Alyssa Turner, she's going to be a senior. Brooke Evans, she's going to be a senior. This is a win season. Win it now, win it back-to-back, because you're losing your best two players. AMD, you're losing, again, your best two players. You lost three great ones from last season in Eden Williamson, Marina Grotto, and Farrah Reeder, but you still have Avery Davis. You still have Mallory Daly, two of the best players in the league, but they're both seniors, a win-now situation. MoFlo, they're in a win-now situation as well. Bella Corrado, a senior. Kate Clark, a senior. Bria Ringloff, a senior. Pascal Olzak, a senior. Angelina Massey, a senior. And then Maggie Spell, a sophomore. Win-now situation with that senior-heavy group. And then at Cedarbrook, Mila Don's just going to be a freshman. She was great last year. We know how good Abby Jennis is. She's just going to be a sophomore. Michaela Canty's only going to be a sophomore. And then you have the senior and Hannah Puglise. So, again, a spot where it makes sense that that team can compete right now with LaDon Jennis and Puglise as it is. But let alone if you add Jealous into that mix next year, that I think would make them almost the clear favorite coming into next season.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of teams that obviously would want that the luxury of having her next year, and excited to see how this all plays out, especially with the first round. I mean, there's a ton of talent here, and really anybody could be taken, I feel like, within these first two rounds. We got to see it during the 2 days of tryouts. Just the new crop. I mean, that's the best part is, you lose talented seniors who make this league what it is. I mean, we've seen, girls like Eden Williamson and Alyssa Clutter, and, you had the Venick twins, all Trinity kids. No coincidence. I mean, just the amount of Trinity kids that we've had in the league, they've kind of, really made the girls division what it is. But, they've graduated, they've moved on, and a new crop of players has entered and made an impact. So it's pretty cool to see that every year. There's a good, talented group that is looking to make their presence felt here in the girls division.
Yeah, some other players to look at as the night goes on. You have Layla Marchinsky out of West Allegheny. Minute ball handler, but I think very vocal, very good shooter, disciplined player in all realms. And, I thought it was an interesting night. One of the tryouts, we had two players that were very talkative, very in control, and it was two rising freshmen, in Allie Wilson and Layla Marchinsky, and I think that was a big thing into night two of tryouts. That was kind of frustrating for some of the coaches. You could hear a pin drop in that gym, and I know that was kind of concerned, but when you looked at those two, they were very good at communicating even at a young level. I think those are some players to look at. Obviously, another one is Trollocs Scott, Zephaniah, of course, her older sister played in the league, and Zephaniah probably the best defender in this draft.
Yeah, and you mentioned her sister being able to play for AMD Industries, and I'm sure that Troxler Scott might be someone that AMD has their eye on. I'm sure that Noah Yarton, I think he just gave us a little nod.
He gave a little grin. It was the Shaq meme in a nutshell. You know what I'm talking about, Jose?
Yep. We'll see if she falls that far. I mean, I don't know, Yart, if that's gonna happen. I was just told no by an inside source, Chad Corrado, that might not happen. But I mean, just there's so many talented players that these coaches are going to be kind of battling for here, and I think that's the good part is, all these players are so good that all these coaches are very interested in their services, whether it be just for one summer or whether it be over the next few here in the MVISBL.
Yeah, and I think there are some interesting cases. Chloe Zombeck wasn't at tryouts, did get the approval waiver to be here, to be in the league, along with some other players like Erica Gribble. And another interesting one, Olivia Kemp out of Fort Cherry. Don't necessarily know as much about her. Obviously, GCC, we see them a lot with Sarah Catholic.
Right.
So we're familiar with Gribble and, of course, Avery Davis already in the league from Greensburg Central Catholic. And then on the other side, Chloe Zombeck, Valley Kid, EF. We know a lot about Chloe.
She's tried out before for the girls division, too.
And she would she didn't try out she tried out going into her freshman year, didn't try out the following season. Obviously, I think we all said would have made it last year if she decided to come out, but comes out this year, and most likely we'll see Chloe go in the first 5, 6, 7, 8 picks of this draft. I have Chloe ranked in my top 5 of players available to be drafted here this evening.
Yeah, you put up Mel Kiper rankings here on our sheet here.
I went more in depth last year, but
I'm in agreement on most of these picks. So,
and I think another one on that list we haven't talked about. I just know it's familiarity is very important to a lot of people, and Savon Wims is a player that is very familiar with a lot of these coaches. I mean, Eric Dawson, the new assistant at Edward Jones, well, his daughter Jenna Dawson played for Belle Vernon. They played West Mifflin.
Yep. The EF girls are very familiar with West Mifflin as well.
Noah Yarton coached against Savon Wims. So it's a player that people know that coming in, this wasn't a blind look at a player like Savon Wims, who I think has the ability to be a great complement to a couple of stars. And we know she had a lot of help and was a good player at West Mifflin, but there was a lot of talent on that West Mifflin roster. So I think, you add her to a talented group already, and she's in a good place to thrive, whether it's in the second, third round. I think that would be a good pick for someone, as I think Commissioner Chad Corrado may be finally ready to get us underway, Jose.
Yeah, I think he's ready. Stepping up to the podium. We'll get this all started here.
We ready to rock?
We're ready, Chad.
I think so.
All right. Just want to welcome everybody out there in YouTube land. Year 4, Naz. Here we are, year 4. First, I want to give a special thanks. Planet Roof, who's, I don't know if you mentioned that already, but they're sponsoring our draft tonight. And, of course, our sponsors for our team, Dax Thomas State Farm. He's been here since the beginning. Cedar Brook, if you're looking to get a nice 18 rounds in, or 36 rounds, actually.
That's right.
Menneson Florist, of course, if you want the best flowers around. Lee Supply, if you're looking for pipe, I guess, you can go to Lee Supply, my cousin Kevin. AMD and Edward Jones also been sponsors since year 1. We appreciate that. And take an opportunity to thank you guys. You did a fantastic job yesterday with the boys. And those that know, we're a very media-friendly league. And it all happens, of course, with our sports editor, Jeremy Salou, assistant Jose Negron, Alex Lyons, of course, running all the multimedia. And we got new intern, Gino, from Hempfield via Syracuse. We're going to see what he does this year, and we're happy to do that. And actually, we had the person that started the Girls League with us tonight. Thank you for coming, Melanie Greco. Naz, of course, is here. Everybody knows Naz, but it's going to be a great draft, going to be a great year and I'm looking forward to it. And with all that being said, I'm going to call Coach up here, Dan Slane, if you want to come on up here, and he's going to give you the first-round draft pick. We'll see what he's going to do, and really happy to add him to the coaching mix this year. Here you go, buddy.
Thank you, Chad. Hi, gentlemen.
Dan?
I question you question me.
I think the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Jose talked and I talked about who we liked on this board, and we'll see where you go to get us underway.
Got it. Good evening, everyone. First of all, happy to be here. I've been watching this league for the last 3 years. 2 as a spectator. Would come every Monday and Wednesday, watch the games. I enjoyed the competition. It was kind of fun to watch. Bottom line is everybody looked like they had some fun. Looking forward to watching 2 games and coaching one this year. So glad to be here. Know a few of you from coaching in the league. All right. It's going to be tough to match up with some of you folks. All right. Do a nice job. But anyway, we went with Bella Furno from Norwin, and the thing I liked about her was the fact that what I like in point guards, got great court vision, sees the floor very well, sees openings, sees open teammates, unselfish, and as a point guard, you got to be a little selfish. But I tell you what, she impressed Paul and I both evenings. The other thing I liked, she came both nights, which was kind of nice. Showed a commitment on her part. But we're excited to have her. And like I said, we have our alpha with Erica Hall, and I'm looking for Erica to mentor Bella. And again, she comes from a good program. I know Coach Bry at Norwin, and even if you don't start varsity at a 6A school, you're going up against some 6A kids. So again, this kid's been battle tested from that standpoint. So again, we're pleased, we're happy with our first round pick, and glad to be here. Thank you very much, folks.
Thanks, Coach. So Bella Furno off the board first from Norwin. Jose, you got something to add to this?
Go Knights.
I was waiting. I knew it was coming. Go Knights from Jose, and Bella Furno, first player to join us here this summer in the MVISBL. And, Coach, there had to be a lot with Bella that drew you to her. Obviously, you've seen Erica Gribble with your time at Sarah Catholic, a decent amount, who a lot of people thought was the best player coming in. Was it an easy or hard decision to just pull the trigger and say, Bella's who we like, this is who we're going to take?
That was a hard decision. And at Sarah, we played him 3 times, okay? And Erica Gribble will end up being one of the best players in this league. My concern, okay, and again, it's hard to predict, okay, between summer league with their high school team, between AAU, and those are the primary commitments from that standpoint. GCC runs they run a summer league and things like that. It comes down to more. I'm more concerned about availability as opposed to ability. She's got great ability, okay. It's just, and I was talking to Chad. You got to make 5 games, and again. Only having 4 players, we're looking to build with kids that we know can be here for us. And again, we're going to be young, but like I said, a little easier to teach them when they're younger from that standpoint. So again, no, Erica Gribble, phenomenal player. Like I said, we played him 3 times, and she's got all the tools that you would look for. So yeah, it's going to be one of the best players in the league. Trust me.
So Bella Furno first off the board from the Norwin Knights, a multi-sport standout at Norwin, as also a runner-up in the WPIAL 4x800 at the district level. So Bella Furno, an incredible athlete from the Norwin Knights, as Bella Furno goes first overall, and that will put Cedarbrook on the clock here in the first round, Jose. But Bella Furno, maybe a bit of surprise going first overall, but the best ability is availability when it comes to the summer.
Yeah, and like Coach said, the unselfishness that she shows and just the pure ability and like you said, the availability, being able to be here be at games every single night, that's going to be huge for State Farm, a team that is trying to reload. I mean, you look at the key losses, they have at least 5 names on that list. They do return one of the better players in this league in Erica Hall, which is a huge plus, and Bella Furno is just only going to add to that for Dax Thomas State Farm.
Yeah, great athlete, great communicator, and will be an outstanding piece added to State Farm, a very impressive player. We got to see her a lot, and well-spoken individual as well. I had the chance to talk to her during the tryouts. But Cedarbrook on the clock with Coach Mariah Ward, a very young but talented roster for Coach Mariah Ward entering this season, already with Mia Ladon, Abby Jennis, and a senior in Hannah Pugliese will now look to add to her team here in round number 1.
For Cedarbrook's first round pick, we select Allie Wilson from TJ.
So, Coach, Allie Wilson, maybe one of the most prolific players we saw on night number 1 of the tryouts, and I know a big thing for you in night number 2 is nobody was talking. How much of Allie showing a communication ability, trying to lead by example and stuff on the court in night 1 was a big part to you picking her here this evening?
The thing with Allie is, her maturity on the floor is just very impressive for how young she is. Her maturity is just, it's incredible. The way she's a good teammate, she picks others up. The way she talks on defense, it's impressive to have that at a very young age. It's beyond her skill level at this point. She's going to, in a couple years, she's going to just be incredible at just being a leader. And that's what I need right now. I need a younger leader, to show that young players can be leaders as well, not just the older kids.
So Coach Mariah Ward stacking up a plethora of young talent here with her first-round selection. Mila Dawn, a freshman, Abby Jennis, a sophomore, and now a rising freshman, and Allie Wilson joining the Cedarbrook ranks, trying to get back to, the precipice of greatness. And that's a great start, picking Allie Wilson here in round number 1. And now Erica Gribble's slide continues to go as she has fallen past the first 2 picks. But, when you looked at Coach Mariah Ward, and I had the feeling it was either going to be one of 2 players for Cedarbrook, and Allie Wilson and Sutton Williamson were kind of the only 2 on my board for Cedarbrook here in round number 1.
Yeah, and they go with Allie Wilson. Of course, the being a freshman, that's another big value for some of these players. I mean, when you can get them for all 4 summers, that's huge.
We'll see if the slide stops as MoFlo on with their first-round selection here in the MVISBL draft.
Alex, did you say plethora?
I did say plethora.
Is that a Three Amigos reference? Because we're over here cracking up. You
Yeah,
might be too young to know that one.
I'm here to entertain, Chad. I'm in the entertainment
We
business,
use
right?
big words.
This is a very strange situation for us here at Menneson Floors. We scout every player, and we actually didn't really scout Erica Gribble because we didn't think that she would ever fall to 3. But yet here we are. So with the 3rd pick in the 2003 draft, the no-brainer, Erica Gribble, GCC.
So Erica Gribble, the consensus number 1 on my board, goes at 3rd overall, Chad.
Right.
Are you going to get her more than 1 season?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. After we get this gold ball at the end of this season, she's probably going to want to come back for that back-to-back. So, everybody can't play for Menneson Florist. There's only going to be 4 girls that get to play here. And, Erica, congratulations.
Well, what was the hardest part? Talking Jeremy off the ledge?
I'm honest. We're shocked here. We are actually the room is stunned, but we are so happy to have her. She's going to fit in perfectly, right, Jeremy, with our offense.
Is she she is the offense, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But
Bella's giving you a death stare over at the table.
Erica,
Yes,
I hope your 3-point ball is superb. I hope you can chuck it from half court.
All right, guys. Great job. You guys are doing awesome.
Thanks, Chad.
So Erica Gribble, the slide stops at number 3, and the future Division I athlete gets drafted here in the MVISBL to Menneson Flores. Bella Corrado, Kate Clark, Bria Ringloff, Pascal Olzak, Angelina Massey, Maggie Spell. Now add Erica Gribble to the list, and that will put Lee Supply on the clock, led by, of course, Coach Caitlin Slagus and Nick Dazan, the Avonworth bench boss, now joining the ranks of that squad, as Nick will come up to make his first-round selection for Lee Supply. Of course, Sutton Williamson, Chloe Zombeck, Wims, all still on the board here, along with Charlixer Scott, as Coach a little high out of the same issue we had with Rashad yesterday, Jose, our taller coach, but first-round selection for you guys in Lee Supply.
With the 4th pick in the first round, Lee Supply takes Sutton Williamson from Trinity.
So Sutton only here 1 night at trials, but what drew you guys to Sutton? A young player, obviously a generational talent when it comes to the league, with her cousin Eden winning Player of the Year last year. But what drew you to this selection here in round number 1?
So for us, we're in a weird situation because some players that we were hoping would be back for us were not going or not able to play for injury reasons. For us, though, to get a young player like Sutton, who has a great reputation, very well respected, well known amongst a lot of local coaches, very athletic, she gives you a balance of building for your future while having a player who I think is going to be ready to do some damage year 1.
So another Williamson into the ranks here in the MVISBL. Sutton Williamson off the board at number 4. That's putting AMD on the clock, as they will look to get back to the championship level, Jose, after falling just short a season ago. But Sutton Williamson moving up at the number 4 spot, and of course, a very talented multi-sport athlete as well. Apparently, the rumor is playing some baseball for Team USA come later this summer.
Yeah, she's good in multiple sports, and is just one of those athletes that you can depend on the basketball court. You mentioned her cousin Eden Williamson. Things went well for her here in the summer league, so I think that's something that Lee Supply is going to expect. Some significant losses for Lee Supply when you look at London Creech and Rachel Manfredo, Jenna Dawson. So they do have to replace some players. They did make a trade over the offseason, trading Angelina Massey to Menneson Flores for Arden Minetti. So there is talent there. the cupboard is not bare for Caitlin Slagus and her coaching staff. So, Lee Supply was in the playoffs last year. They lost Edward Jones after going 7-4. They looked like a favorite really midway through the season, but they're looking to build on that and definitely going to be a championship caliber team come this season.
Yeah, and of course, Mia Sosterek, very good shooter from the outside, and Autumn Matthews now picking up some pack offers, so that'll be another force inside. And we talked about that's kind of a lack in this league, those players that like to bang inside, and Matthews one of those I think that can really do a lot of damage inside the post here this season as AMD and their assistant coach who's running the war room by himself. So no Bree Rathaway, just Noah Yarton tonight, but Yart considers himself the draft guru, I think.
I mean, I guess I'd agree with it, maybe.
All right, so with our first-round pick, AMD selects Chloe Zombeck from EF.
So someone obviously you are very familiar with, coached against her multiple times, and Chloe falling to you at 4 and kind of seems like an all-around player with a pretty good attitude that seems like will fit your squad pretty well. And how do you see her meshing, with kind of other stars already having Daly and Davis on your roster?
She's just one of our kind of players. Like, she's not scared to stick her nose into it, and she's aggressive. She's going to play defense, and she could get to the hoop whenever she wants and make timely threes, and she did that against us in high school, and I'm thinking she could do that in this league.
So AMD looking to get back to the championship after falling short a season ago. Chloe Zombeck joining Avery Davis, Mallory Daly, Bella Klobuchar, Deshae Cochran, and Brianna Dawson already on the AMD roster, taking us to the final pick of round number 1, and our defending champions in Edward Jones. Edward Jones, of course, led by head coach Safari Larry Cash. And not Safari.
Casual Larry Cash.
And new head coach Eric Dawson, whose daughter Jenna played in this year for Coach Caitlin Slagus last year, and Lee Supply, as Coach Larry Cash gets set to make his first round selection and wrap up the first round here in the MVISBL girls draft.
I just want to welcome the new coaches in the league, and I hope you guys have fun and enjoy yourselves while I'm doing my thing.
I heard there's a room. Chad, we're going to have Safari Larry night. Everyone's getting Safari hats coming in.
Larry got that championship swag with him right now.
You've been saying that for 2 years now, and
It's coming. It takes more than a year to plan this out.
Corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs.
my first pick
We like to have a good time.
is Lauren Bria. She's from Canada McMillan. Barella, I'm sorry.
So, Coach, obviously you have some talent coming back with Terza, Brooke Evans. You lost some pieces. What drew you to a player like Lauren Barella here in the first round?
Well, I don't know that much about her, actually. My assistant coach, he told me about her because he went to the last tryouts. He says she's a knockdown shooter. She plays good defense, and that fits right into what I want on my team.
So, Lauren Barella joining already the likes of Terza, Larkin, Justice, and Brooke Evans, as Edward Jones will look to start their title defense on Monday once we get underway in the MVISBL, as round number 1 is complete here this evening from Cedarbrook. Bellaferno 1, Allie Wilson 2, Erica Gribble falls to 3, with Sutton Williamson going 4, Chloe Zombeck in the 5 spot, and Lauren Barella of Cannon Mac goes 6th to Edward Jones. You see on your screen there the first round selections here this evening from Cedarbrook Golf Course. Of course, the MVISBL draft powered by Planet Roof here on MVI Live this evening as we get set for round number 2. And I think, not necessarily how anyone thought this first round was going to go, but a lot of players, coaches, I think, extremely happy with their first round selection. And that last round selection, looking at Lauren Barella, kind of a very similar style player to Jenna Dawson. So I don't think much surprise that Coach Eric Dawson found a fondness for Jenna.
Yeah.
Or for, Lauren.
Yeah, and a 5'6" sophomore guard, so you're going to have her for 3 summers as long as she continues with it. And that's something that, Edward Jones is only having to add on to players like Alyssa Terza, Brooke Evans, Maddie Justice, Emma Larkin, the notable returning players. Key losses include Tori Sadesky and Lainey Gurdich and Genevieve Cody. You mentioned those 2 tall girls who, you need some height here, so that's something that I'm sure Edward Jones will kind of try to, replace here as we go on with this draft.
And now you're looking at this, of course, Erica Hall. You have Caitlin Settles, who likes to play down low. We know a lot about Kenzie Saliga. Vina can run up top and kind of be a nice complement to Bella Furno now, who's most likely going to be your point guard. Erica Hall going to be your horse at State Farm. But, out of all that, yes, Settles plays inside as in a smaller frame, but you need some height. You need maybe a bit of a, inside presence here. If you are maybe State Farm, is that where you maybe try to find a piece here in round number 2? Or do you look at the likes of, again, I think the best defender in the draft in Zephaniah Trollocs or Scott? Do you want a shooter in Wims? Marchinsky, probably the best freshman left on the board, if you want to go for longevity. And I think there's a lot of different ways you can go here, but if you're looking at a piece, I think you need to find some size if you are the State Farm squad already adding Bella Furno in round number 1.
Yeah, and I think, there's so much talent within these first 2 rounds. It's kind of like 1A, 1B. I mean, these second-round picks are girls that I'm sure were probably considered as first-round picks to some teams, So I think in terms of that first round, everybody kind of, obviously you didn't really know what order they were going to go into, but there's not much surprise in the fact that those 6 were picked in this first round. And, a lot of value here going to come in the next 2 rounds for these teams.
I think one of the most intriguing names, though, that we haven't talked about, and there's a couple obviously intriguing names. I think Bentley Lehue, another Trinity girl, always those Trinity girls are intriguing here in the draft. But another one, Sailor Lee. We did not get to see Lee, another one of those exemption players out of Bell Vernon, 5'9", rising freshman forward. So, maybe is that a place Coach Slane looks? Does he go for a young player with some size, in a Sailor Lee who, we just don't necessarily know a ton about, not getting to see her at tryouts. Already the number 1 forward off the board was Allie Wilson, of course, from TJ. But, again, some talent there, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see State Farm go size here in round number 2. Go ahead, Coach.
Thank you, Alex. With the first pick in the second round, State Farm selects number 24, Tina Yellick.
So Yellick off the board. That's a player that Coach Lane also familiar with as well, Jose. That was that Rochester squad that we saw play Sarah Catholic at times this year. So Tia Yellick, who was at night 1 of the tryouts, the 5'6" sophomore from Rochester, off the board here in round number 2 to State Farm, as State Farm gets another piece to join Hall, Settles, Saliga, Vinick, and Bella Furno, as Tia Yellick off the board. That will put Cedarbrook on the clock for their second round selection. One of a couple Rochester girls we have in the draft this season.
Yeah, great to see some schools that I don't think have had a lot of representation from in the past. I think Brashear is the first year I believe Brashear is represented. Penn Trafford, have we had some Penn Trafford?
Bukar's from Penn Trafford.
Okay.
She's on AMD.
Albert Gallatin?
I believe.
Or Fort
I
Cherry.
believe
Fort
Emma,
Cherry might be the first.
I believe Emma Larkin was at Albert Gallatin, now at Geibel, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. Chad might know. Chad, was Larkin at AG and now is at Geibel? That's what we thought, just making sure. As Mariah Ward quickly up here for her round 2 selection. Cedarbrook will make their second pick of the draft. Allie Wilson from Thomas Jefferson in round number 1. And now round number 2 selection. Here's Mariah Ward.
For the second round pick, Cedarbrook selects Cameron Newman, Rochester.
So back-to-back Rochester Rams off the board as a run on our 2 Rochester players at the top of round number 2. And I think this is a very interesting situation, again, for Monessen Flores. I know they liked Bentley Lehue. I know they like Savon Wims. And, again, that Charles Scott's still sitting there. And, AMD's hoping that it continues to fall.
Yeah, I'm surprised Noah's not over at that table trying to convince them who to pick.
And I know Chad likes Sailor Lee coming into the draft, but we didn't see her.
Oh, that's what a lot of options here. A lot of.
And Chad's always looking for size. They did that last year, and Battles, of course, is taking the European tour this summer,
right.
Which that's a great experience for her. I mean, hey, I'd rather spend. I'd rather spend my summer in Europe than every night at Mark's court time as well. But hey, I mean, I'm not going to complain being there either. I very much love spending every night there. But Jeremy, the assistant coach and our sports editor, going to make the second round selection for MoFlo.
With the third pick of the second round, Menneson Flores selects Bentley Lehue from Trinity.
So Jeremy gets his way. I know how high he was on Bentley Lehue, and Bentley Lehue of Trinity, the newest Trinity Hiller of many to enter the ranks here this evening in round number 2. And now Lee Supply will be on the clock here in round number 2 as Bentley Lehue off the board from Trinity.
Chad has shown so much pride in the fact that Jeremy actually went up there and did it. So good job, buddy. I'm proud of you too.
So we're going to get a
Kenzie. I've never seen Kenzie more terrified.
Or we're going to get a Bella. Bella's going to announce the pick too?
Yeah, Bella's going to announce the next pick. It's just like that's what happens at the later picks. You get everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a chance to announce a pick.
And this is where I figured if it was going to come down to, I will tell you right now, Charles or Scott will be either this pick or the next one, without question. Coach Dizon loves his defense, and that's a stellar pick if he decides to go that way. And I know it would break the heart of one man sitting here as we'll get that round 2 selection from Lee Supply.
With the 10th pick in the second round, Lee Supply selects Jess Miller from McKeesport.
So Jess Miller going here in round number 2 out of McKeesport, and Miller, a rising junior. Of course, we know how talented, Jose, that squad is up at the McKeesport Tigers, consistently there with the likes of Rachel Manfredo, who was in our league last year. Of course, wish her the best in her recovery. Brooke Evans will be back in the league this year. We have Emily Eisenberg in the league as well, who, she lives in the gym right there in Eisenberg. Coach Kevin Kovac of Union Cleaners tells me all the time about how when he was the coach out at McKeesport, she'd come and run the drills as a, middle schooler, running all the shooting drills, and Eisenberg, a pretty true shooter as well. Now Jess Miller joining the ranks from the McKeesport Tigers.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with getting a player from McKeesport. I mean, Amy Gumbert does a really great job over with the Tigers, and just every year they're a championship contender, both in the WPIAL and in the state. So, good pick there for Lee Supply to get a player like Jess Miller, who's only a 5'5" junior. You'll have her for the next 2 summers. So, nice to see them get a guard there after getting Sutton Williamson in that first round.
And, I'm surprised Coach Noah Yarton studying his list over there.
Yeah,
I almost thought this was going to be a no-brainer.
I don't know if he's dragging this out or what.
I thought we were going to have a Bobby Zanoski type appearance, like a run to the podium.
I was expecting him to be up here way quicker.
The problem is Bria and Nana are in the Caribbean right now.
Yeah, but they didn't even see the girls. I mean, Bria and Nana are leaving yard up to dry.
Shout out to them. They're watching in Punta Cana.
Shout out to Nana and Bria.
They're
in
watching
the Caribbean
right
right
now.
now.
Yeah, they're watching.
They're definitely watching, yeah. With our second round pick, we're going to draft Layla Marchinsky.
I knew you liked her as well, Yart. So Yart goes the freshman from West Allegheny, another one of those talented freshmen that was very vocal in night 1 of the tryouts. And again, I'm in a sense a little surprised that it is not Trollocs or Scott here, but again, it's Marchinsky going off the board for AMD, and I think that's a great piece added to that AMD roster.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's dedicated to winning. They're gonna, pick players who are going to help them win, and that immediately Chloe Zombeck and Layla Marchinsky are going to make an impact for Bria Rathway and this AMD team as they look to win their 3rd championship in 4 years.
So Marchinsky off the board, and Edward Jones will wrap up our second round here on MVI Live, or not. Audible.
Larry's going back. He forgot something.
Wait, he's skipping this pick. Who's next?
And a lot of talented girls still on the board. Wim's still out there. Sailor Lee. Some other names, Jellison.
For Edward Jones' second pick, we picked Maya Glisson from AG.
So Glisson off the board. The 5'7" sophomore forward from Albert Gallatin. We talked about not necessarily a ton of forwards in this draft. And Maya Glisson now off the board from Albert Gallatin to round out round number 2 as it goes Furno, Wilson, Gribble, Sutton, Williamson, Zombeck, and Barella in round 1. Yellick, Newman, Lehue, Miller, Marchinsky, and Glisson to round out round number 2. We'll take a break here on the MVISBL Girls Draft, powered by Planet Roof, right here on MVI Live. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs, because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Back here as we get set to start round number 3, State Farm, Cedarbrook, Moflo, Lisa Ply, AMD, Edward Jones, all looking to add to their roster. Everyone will have a pick through 4 rounds here this evening. Then in round 5, it will be State Farm, Cedarbrook, Lisa Ply, Edward Jones, State Farm, Cedarbrook, and Edward Jones in round 6. So as we enter round number 3, this is the penultimate round of full team selection here in the MVISBL Girls Draft, brought to you by Planet Roof. And again, shout out to all of our sponsors here, E-Paints and Ethan Weiser, and of course Marie Slagus, Coach Caitlin Slagus' mom, and Howard Hanna for joining the ranks as well, as we get set for the start of round number 3, and Dax Thomas State Farm with their 3rd round selection here to get us underway, looking to add to already a pick of Bella Furno and Tia Yellock from Rochester.
With the first pick in the 3rd round, State Farm selects Rakaya Porter from Cal.
So Rakaya Porter, another player we are very familiar with, Jose, out of California. And Melanie Greco here, that's one of her girls. And Rakaya Porter going off the board to start round number 3.
Yeah, Porter going into her senior season at California, 5'4" guard. Should make a pretty significant impact for Dax Thomas State Farm. Something that we've seen in the past here in the MVISBL is wasting no time.
Mariah looks like her former assistant coach, Bobby Zanoski, running to the podium.
She's ready to make that pick.
What pick is this?
Second of the 3rd round.
Our 3rd round pick is going to be Zephaniah Trexler Scott from Oakland Catholic.
So off the board goes Trexler Scott as the Oakland Catholic sophomore, and maybe the best defender we see here in the draft, off the board to Cedarbrook, joining another young piece to a already young and talented squad at Cedarbrook.
Yeah, and while Trexler Scott is a 3rd round pick, she was someone that multiple teams were interested in. So good pick there for Cedarbrook. You mentioned just how good of a defender she is. 5'8" sophomore guard, plays for a really talented Oakland Catholic team. We mentioned how good McKeesport is, and Oakland Catholic was the only team that really gave them fits all season long. Just so much talent on that squad. So
I thought we were getting Kenzie, but it's going to be Bella Corrado, Chad's secret weapon, right, Chad? That's it. So, soccer standout, Bella Corrado. Congratulations to Bella getting her first offer.
Thanks.
Bella, who's joining you?
All right, with our 15th overall pick and our 3rd round draft pick, we select Haley Gibson from California.
So there's some size off the board in the rising freshman Haley Gibson, a 5'10" player out of California.
Yeah, Monessen Flores with some height. They already got the 5'10" sophomore in Erica Gribble. Now they had a 5'10" freshman in Haley Gibson. And I think California's coach over there is pretty happy to get 2 3rd-round draft picks here with Rakaya Porter and Haley Gibson.
Haley Gibson, a rising freshman. I knew I had that marked down when I was looking at my board here, Jose. That I typed the J instead of the F. But, yeah, Haley Gibson, young player to a pretty senior Leighton squad in Monessen Flores. So they had Bentley Lehue, Erica Gribble, and now Haley Gibson. And, Jose, that's building for the future as well as building to win now. All very talented players, but all 3 girls are just rising sophomores, as Lisa Ply right at their next selection.
This is the 3rd pick in the 3rd round, right?
4th pick of the 3rd round. Yep.
The 4th pick in the 3rd round, Lisa Ply takes Savon Wims from West Mifflin.
So Savon Wims finally off the board, and that's someone that Coach Caitlin Slagus, is very familiar with. Same section, West Mifflin, Bell Vernon, and Savon Wims, a great complementary piece to Monessen Flores. Matthews, Sosteric, Sutton Williamson, Jess Miller, and now add the likes of Savon Wims to the Lee Supply ranks. As here comes Noah Yarton with their next selection. Noah, go ahead, buddy.
With our third round pick, we're going to take Sailor Lee Bell Vernon.
So Sailor Lee, someone that Noah Yarton maybe getting the chance to coach next year with Bell Vernon, as Sailor Lee, a rising freshman, 5'9" forward. Again, we talked about it. Not a ton of size in this draft. And they're going with a rising freshman in Sailor Lee with the penultimate pick of the third round. As we are rolling now, here comes Larry Cash with his selection, the final selection of round number 3.
We select in round number 3 is Olivia Kemp from Fort Cherry.
So Kemp off the board, a very interesting, again, piece in Olivia Kemp, just not someone we know a ton about. Wasn't at the tryouts, but Olivia Kemp will head off the board here from Fort Cherry to round out round number 3 as we get set to start round number 4 as the draft rolls on. When we come back right here on your home for Mon Valley Athletics, MI Live. E-Paint proudly serving the community since 2021, offering home service for both residential and commercial properties. At E-Paints, we will work with you to plan every step of the process and ensure that your satisfaction is met. With a team of experts and a variety of professional services available, you can be sure that your house will be taken care of. From the smallest to largest task, E-Paints believes your home deserves top priority service. For more information, visit epaintsанdepoxy.com or call 412-559-8515. E-Paints, quality professional services that you can trust. Back here, round number 4 underway, and Jose, I think it gives us finally the time we could start seeing Michelle Jellison come off the board. Is it here in round 4 maybe, or does she fall a little further? But if someone's going to take a waiver on Jellison, it might be here in the 4th round. This is some teams' last opportunity to do so if they would like, including AMD and Monessen Flores, who will make their final picks of the draft, as State Farm will make their next selection here to get us underway in round number 4.
With pick number 19 in the 4th round, Savannah Day.
So Savannah Day, another one of those Oakland Catholic Eagles off the board. And Oakland Catholic made their run to the district title last season. And Jose, we got a chance to see those Oakland Catholic Eagles against the McKeesport Tigers in what was a absolutely thriller in their 3rd time meeting. I know you got to see them multiple times, but we did the stream up at Gateway together in that playoff game. And they know how to win up there.
Oh, 100%.
As Cedarbrook ready to make their 4th round selection.
In our 4th round selection, Cedarbrook selects Aubrey Lovelace, Gateway.
So Lovelace off the board from Gateway, the 5'9" junior, as we continue to quickly roll through round number 4.
Puts Monessen Florist on the clock. I think Monessen Florist at this point is just trying to figure out who's going to make the pick. I think that's literally the conversation that is being. I keep seeing Kenzie just say, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it."
Should we let you?
You want me to do it? I'll do it.
They should have Gino do it.
Yeah, have Gino make your pick.
Jeremy and Kenzie?
Gino is eventually going to make his on-screen debut with MVI Live.
And to be fair, luckily for Gino, I mean, I don't know if it's luckily for him, but I mean, at least he won't have to be necessarily in front of the camera when it comes to the the basketball streams.
Right.
We're never on camera besides this. This is the most screen.
They put a chair down. I thought it was for me. But it's going to be for Curly Sue as she.
Stand up. Stand up.
We just got to get this all on camera.
Yeah, tell me who we're picking.
Come on, Kenzie.
Just do it.
Oh,
All right,
giggles.
with our pick, we're taking Michelle Jellison from Elizabeth Ford.
So it is a 4th round waiver of Michelle Jellison for Monessen Flores. Again, clear-cut 1st round talent, but not playing this year. Did stay in the draft, so she'll be on the IR for the season. But Michelle Jellison off the board here in round number 4 to Monessen Flores. So that will be a 1-year, in a sense, pick for next season in Monessen Flores with Michelle Jellison in their final pick.
Well, that's perfect because Chad said they're going back to back, so she'll be able to help for the second championship. Is what's at. Well, I mean,
Jeremy's still on the ledge.
Yeah, Jeremy's still very hesitant about what's going to be happening this summer.
So a lot of players out on the board. Kiki Turner, Vignoli out there as well. Marielle Wilson out of Penn Trafford, Juliana Ott, and that's an interesting piece. I think maybe for Cedar Brook.
There's another Knight on the board too. Let's not
I
forget
was
about
going up the
Anna
list.
Fraser, the sophomore from Norwin.
Also, Gernot from Ringgold out there. Allison, McKenna Bittner, and I thought that's one that intrigues me a little bit, is Bittner out of Elizabeth Ford. And I'll tell you why, Jose. Didn't really impress me that much in night one, no offense against her, but how much better she looked from night one to night two and how much more comfortable she got. She's just going to be a rising freshman.
Rising freshman, the nerves with a tryout, I mean, those things happen.
And I think she's in a great scenario at EF, having a player like Michelle Jellison to study under, like Brinson was for Jellison. Jellison can be for Bittner, as Lisa Ply with their fourth-round selection.
With our fourth-round selection, Lisa Ply selects Venetia Vignoli from Jeanette.
So Venetia Vignoli out of Jeanette, the 6-foot senior guard, off the board to Lisa Ply, as Venetia becomes the first of the two sisters taken here today. The other one, Adriana Allison.
Puts AMD Industries on the clock here in round 4. We'll run through AMD Industries picks through the first 4 rounds. Of course, they went with Chloe Zombeck with the 5th overall pick in the first round. With the 10th overall pick, they went with Layla Marshinsky from West Allegheny. And then in the 3rd round, with the 15th overall pick, they selected Sailor Lee from Bell Vernon, as AMD will look to add another here in round number 4.
Add their final piece for the season.
Yeah, this will be it for AMD. They will not have a 5th-round draft pick or 6th or 7th. And like we said, in the next round, it'll just be State Farm, Cedar Brook, Lisa Ply, and Edward Jones. In the 6th round, State Farm, Cedar Brook, and Edward Jones. And then we'll have one more pick right after that.
And Jose, this is a perfect time to talk about where we will be seeing all the action on Monday, I believe. You know? So, you know where you're at right now? You know where you're watching the draft here on MVI Live on YouTube? That's where you can join us on Monday night. Monday and Wednesdays, that's where the draft will be streamed. I know on the original schedule set out how the Mirrored X link for the Girls League, we will be streaming to MVI Live YouTube. So where you are watching the draft now is where you will watch all the action for the MVISBL Girls Division here on the MVI Live YouTube page. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll, of course, blast that out, keep that out there. I'll tweet the game links every single night like I did last year. So make sure you're following Jose, Jeremy, myself on social media, the MVI Live, the MVI Sports account. We'll keep you updated where to watch the games. And I'll tweet out the link, of course, every single game. That you'll get you to the YouTube page. If you can't find it, just go to the Twitter, and it will direct you in the right, put you in the right direction. But that is where our games will be streamed this year.
And a way to get notified as to when our streams start here on YouTube is to,
like right here,
go down here and subscribe to
Jose, wait, pull it up on your
YouTube
laptop
channel.
real quick.
Now I'll pull it up here.
And we'll point directly to where it is. Okay.
It's like right behind. It's like right underneath me. Yeah. Subscribe.
Right there. Coach Slane was ready to go.
He's ready. He knows who he's about to pick.
Well, hopefully, you never know.
He was about. Noah's taken so long that he was about to steal AMD's pick.
Hey, I like the effort.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, hey. I don't know.
See, this is why we need Bree and Nana, because
Billy Bean over there struggling.
But no, here's the thing. Yart's going to analyze and dissect everything for 35 minutes. He needs the Nana and Bree to just keep him in line, keep him going.
Here he comes. He's ready now.
I think he might
with
take a job.
AMD's 4th-round pick, we are going to take Anna Fraser.
So, Jose, we're going to get another one?
Go Knights.
There it is. So the other Norwin Knight off the board, and Anna Fraser, the sophomore 5'8" guard, going to AMD Industries. And that was a heck of a season that the Norwin Knights had last year. Over, I think, 24 wins for Norwin last season in the girls' basketball. So Fraser now joining the ranks of AMD Industries.
Yeah, it's awesome to see more Norwin kids getting involved in the league. You know, we saw Tori Sadesky win a championship with Edward Jones, and now we got 2 more Knights involved here in the Summer League.
As Edward Jones now making their selection, the final selection of round number 4.
In round number 4, we're going to take McKenna Bittner from EF.
So Bittner off the board. Jose, you know, we just talked about McKenna Bittner, you know, as an intriguing piece. Seemed a lot more comfortable in night number 2 than night number 1. Very young player, going to be a rising freshman, 5'7" forward. And Jose, this is a team. They may have the tallest player in the league, but don't expect us to be seeing the tallest player in the league down in the post. Terza's going to shoot it from outside the arc. We know Alyssa Terza's range. They need someone to help take the blows of losing Lainey Gerdich and Genevieve Cody, the swimming superstar out of TJ.
Yeah, and I think that you get a player like McKenna Bittner, who 5'7" freshman. Again, we've talked about it so many times here tonight, but having those 4 years of eligibility, huge in terms of an investment in a draft pick. And when you're able to get into the later rounds here and you see a lot of young players on the board, hey, that makes them even more valuable.
I'm really, looking down the draft board, obviously, number of good running and selections here. But I'm really liking the Cedarbrook draft class here this evening with the likes of Wilson, Newman, Charlexer, Scott.
With
and
pick number
Lovelace.
25, 5th round, Marielle Wilson, Penn Trafford.
So the rising junior Marielle Wilson off the board here in round number 5 to get us underway. Just 4 total selections in round number 5, 3 in round number 6. As Marielle Wilson off the board to State Farm, and now Cedarbrook with their 5th round selection.
What pick is it? 6th round?
5th round.
5th round.
For a 5th round pick, we're going Kiara Turner from Brashear.
So Kiki Turner, the first Brashear player entering the MVISBL, comes off the board here in round number 5, going to Cedarbrook as a City League player joining the ranks here on the girls division.
Yeah, another school that we haven't had representation from in the past, but here we are getting Kiki Turner into the league. Another good pick here for Cedarbrook as they get a 5'8" junior.
So Ott out there, Ella Lotz from South Allegheny, of course, still Hamilton, Gernot, Farnan, and Allison all on the board here as Lee Supply gets set to make their selection.
With our 5th round pick, Lee Supply selects Julianne Ott from Baldwin.
So Ott off the board, a 5'6" sophomore guard to Lee Supply, and that will turn the tables to the final pick of round number 5, as that's going to be Edward Jones, the defending champs, after Ott from Baldwin heads off the board, as Edward Jones will make the final selection around number 5, then just 3 picks in round number 6, State Farm, Cedarbrook, and Edward Jones. And we'll see what happens from there. Again, games start on Monday, 6 o'clock Marks Court time. I'll be there. Jose will be there. Gino will be there. Jeremy will be there. We'll all be there. We'll be there all summer long, bringing you coverage again right here on MVI Live. Appreciate you all tuning in here this evening from Cedarbrook Golf Course. Fantastic host, fantastic golf course. And, this is almost torture doing this here, Jose. I just want to go golfing. It's a beautiful course.
I will take Alea Lutz from South Allegheny.
As Ella Lotz, the 5'6" junior, just talking about her as well, Jose, as one of the South Allegheny Gladiators heads off the board, and Ella Lotz. So now
I'm ready for war, baby.
So is that now is that Sergeant Larry?
Maybe. Yeah.
Machine Gun Larry. Yeah,
I won't. Of course
I'll take a hat.
I'll wear it on the stream.
Hey, here's the thing. Can we get it signed?
Yeah,
We have to get it signed. I mean, and again, if you haven't found out, we like to have a good time, Jose.
We do. I mean,
We're good time, guys. Obviously, if you're watching and you make your way out to Marks Court time, come over, say hi to us.
Yeah, come hang out with us. Watch some good basketball in person. Don't listen to us on here if you don't have to.
I mean, listen to us too.
If you're not at a game, 100%.
Hey,
But
Jose.
if you have the choice,
Hey,
come and hang out with us.
Time out. Come hang out with us
Yeah.
and go home and watch the games after.
That is true. They are
Do
archived
both.
on YouTube
That's right.
afterwards. So be able to watch them back as Dax Thomas State Farm on the clock for the pick in the 6th round. I believe only 4 players.
Allison, Farnan, Gernot, Hamilton. That's all I have left.
Yep, Adriana Allison from Jeanette, Jaslyn Farnan from South Allegheny, Jada Gernot from Ringgold, and Keelan Hamilton from South Allegheny. So a pair of Gladiators on the board, as well as a Ringgold Ram and a Jeanette Jayhawk.
I believe, this could change, but I believe after this round, the 4th player left will be going to Monessen Flores.
I believe that is exactly what's happening.
With taking Michelle Jellison, that would be...
That was your idea. That was a good idea.
That was my idea.
Yeah.
We'll see if they stick with it, but hey.
Yeah.
Again, we'll take a look back at how we got underway, and it was anything but what we thought as Bella Furno went pick number 1, Allie Wilson number 2, Erica Gribble falls all the way to 3, and of course, and why that is so surprising, of course, Erica Gribble, Villanova, Navy, Buffalo, St. Joseph offers, just a rising sophomore. Then going is Sutton Williamson. Her cousin Eden ran the league for a while. Chloe Zombek, the EF2 sports standout, and then Lauren Barella, of course, Chloe Zombek, a great defender on that soccer team for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors, part of a back line that features Alyssa Terza as well, who is in the MVISBL, and that was a very talented and very fun team to watch. Again, that's just the quick recap of round number 1 for you as we've made our way all the way to round number 6 and State Farm with their final selection.
With pick 29 in the 6th round, State Farm selects Kaylin Hamilton, South Allegheny.
So Hamilton, the sophomore forward, will join Dax Thomas State Farm as Keelan Hamilton off the board here to start round number 6.
Yeah, 2 straight South Allegheny picks there from in the 5th and 6th round. Now Mariah Ward will get her 6th round selection in.
For my 6th round selection, I select Jada Gernot.
Gernot from Ringgold. So Ringgold Ram off the board. And we already have Angelina Massey, part of Monessen Florist. Now it's Gernot, a rising freshman, headed to the Cedarbrook squad in round number 6. And Coach Larry Cash will make his final selection of the evening.
My final selection is Adriana Allison from Jeanette.
Yeah. I can't tell if Chad was happy or upset there.
I don't know. I can't tell what Chad's emotions are.
As Adriana Allison, the other Jeanette Jayhawk in the draft, a 5'5" rising freshman, goes in round number 6. And now,
can I guess who's going to be picked?
I think I know who Chad's going to take.
I think it's going to be Jaslyn Farnan from South Allegheny.
And she was one we didn't get to see a ton of her. Came just night 2. But again, you love to see the local girls come up and get an opportunity to improve and hone their craft. As Chad?
Well, with the final pick in the 2023 draft, MoFlo will take Jaslyn Farnan of South Allegheny.
Jaslyn Farnan. And, hey, Jaslyn, if you're out there watching, Brock Purdy, that's all we need to say, right?
Yes, absolutely. Great job, guys. Great job, everybody.
So season starts on Monday right here on MVI Live. Jose, a pleasure as always. Bella Furno, Allie Wilson, Gribble, Sutton Williamson, Chloe Zombek, Lauren Barella, round 1. And then Tia Yellock, Cameron Newman, Bentley Layu, Jess Miller, Layla Marchinsky, and Maya Gleason in round 2. Rakaya Porter, Zephaniah Troxer, Scott Haley, Gibson, Savon Wim, Sailor Lee, and Olivia Kemp round out round 3. Then it was Savon Day, Aubrey Lovelace, Michelle Jellison, Venetia Vignoli, Anna Fraser, McKenna Bittner for round 4. Marielle Wilson, Kiki Turner, Julianne Ott, and Ella Lotz in round 5. Keelan Hamilton, Jada Gernot, Adriana Allison, and Jaslyn Farnan round out the draft and round out these rosters as now we turn our attention to league play starting on Monday.
Everybody's chasing Edward Jones. The defending champions looking to go back-to-back, and everybody else chasing them as we go into the summer. And really going to be exciting to see these new players joining the league. A lot of talent, as we've kind of reiterated throughout the night. I'm excited to see how they mesh with the players that are returning here.
one thing's for certain, Jose, we'll have a new player of the year this year. That quest will start on Monday. Will Edward Jones go back-to-back, or will someone else reign supreme as the rosters are set for the moment? Trades still allowed, but of course, for the time being, these teams have filled out. They know what they've got in play, and now the question is, how do they perform? We'll find out starting on Monday at Marks Court time as the MVISBL Girls Draft powered by Planet Roof has come to an end here this evening. Appreciate all of you tuning in here on MVI Live. As there goes the microphone for the first time the night after 6 times last night. I'll take that as a win. We were close, Jose. We were close. Mic drop to end it.
Yep.
Congratulations. A big thank you to everybody here and all the players getting drafted as we look forward to what should be a phenomenal summer of high school MVISBL Summer League basketball. But until Monday, on behalf of Jose Negron, I'm Alex Lyon saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on Monday, same place, 6 o'clock. We'll get the season underway. We hope to see you there right here on your home for Mon Valley Athletics, MVI Live. Until next time, have a great rest of your Thursday and have a great weekend, everybody.